So you have a few players and a couple of quests in mind, but now the bigger questions come in. Who is sending the party? Who is going to pay them? Who is going to send a troop of skilled assassins their way when the party abandons the quests and goes around burning taverns instead? To track the powers behind the throne and behind the plot hooks, we need factions. A faction is a group of relatively like-minded individuals with a common goal, something like a wizard's book club or a barbarian fight club. In Princes of the Apocalypse, there are 5 player factions and 4 cult factions. Each has their own goals, and these goals do not line up perfectly, allowing for intrigue and betrayals. This is not a video on intrigue or betrayals, or even on creating factions. Today I want to go over a few tools for easily incorporating factions into an open-world style campaign. Today is about tracking the powers that be.
The Dungeon Dudes have a handy guide to building factions and creating intrigue. Linked in the description below. They suggest giving factions clear traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws, like a character. Not all individuals in the faction will have these qualities, but they will be within a few clicks of them. I would add some mathematical notation for tracking a faction's ability to function. Specifically, I would give a faction ability scores. Strength. How much force can they muster? This is their resources at hand. Dexterity. How is their subterfuge? This is their ability to stay in the shadows. Constitution. How easy is a member to turn? If there's a price on loyalty, Constitution determines it. Intelligence. What do they know? This is the faction's library and their access to the arcane. Wisdom. How quickly do they find things out? Spies, rumor mills, and general perception of what is going on in the world. Last, charisma. How many allies do they have? If you mess with the popular faction, you get voted off the island.
Here it would be tempting to make the guilds like classes, but that does not work out on further inspection. A guild with rogues and bards would have a very high wisdom if they were acting as spies.
A bunch of druids would have higher dexterity, since animals look oh so innocent. The abilities of a guild are ultimately whatever the DM wants them to be. Kitchen Knight. Your Lord Commander, Sir Colander, has a quest. Capture the sacred spatula from the barbecuans. But that's a suicide mission. Everyone knows they play with fire. Well, then you are out of the order and you lose all your abilities. Well, I guess I have to if I want to stay a paladin. The easiest way to determine a PC's relation to a faction is to have the faction be their boss, or in the case of a warlock, their patron. This is fine, but kind of leads to railroading. So let's get a little bit deeper.
Favor is a simple metric of how a faction feels about your party, their accomplishments, and their goals. A DM can make this independent of whether a faction knows all these, or allow a faction to learn more using their wisdom score and player fame. Favor allows a DM to determine how the faction reacts when the players interact with agents, whether these agents will be hostile, neutral, or react favorably. No matter how much a faction would hate your all-wizard party, it does not matter if they never hear of you. As a party grows in fame, factions that view them unfavorably will increase their threats and try to stop the party. I would diverge from what the Dungeon Dudes say about the players meeting all factions early on. Throw some factions in there that they will meet late in the game, or perhaps not at all. Use a faction's wisdom to determine if they know about the party, the strength to send forces to interact and decide how angering a faction affects others if the faction has high charisma. If your party stole a sacred artifact, is it common knowledge that a cult a few cities away would know about? Would that cult be able to recruit other people to their cause? If so, perhaps they will send a team of adventurers against your team of adventurers. This encourages your party to stay below the radar and gives a realistic reason for some encounters.
Tracking fame also gives a way to increase challenge with party level. Below level 5, the party is defining itself and can start making enemies. Around level 10, at least one faction sees them as a threat and tries to halt their progress. By the time they meet the BBEG, they have several factions ready to assist them with whatever tools or NPCs they ask for.
Okay, maybe not everything they ask for. Have some good factions? Let me know about how they work in your game, or how your players may have run afoul of them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Good night.